Okay, so we are back with the season 2 finale of And with an E. I don't really have much to say. This is a Kate Sherman Bridgerton inspired hair look. The florals and just the style was giving vaguely, generally, old timey. So that's my look for today. Again, the thing that keeps me going on these, the reason I'm sitting here right this second, filming this right now, is the comments. So if you like these, please let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, would love to know, your favorite parts of the video, your favorite parts of the reaction, favorite parts of this episode, something you found funny. It's always just so fascinating when people point something out and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, oh, you found that funny. Okay, cool. It's just cool to hear. So if you feel so inclined, go ahead and do that. I also have a Patreon, which will be linked in the description down below. I have all my And with an E full-length, unedited reactions, so you can watch along with me if you are interested. But other than that, let's get into the finale of season 2, And with an E season 2, episode 10.
I don't think there's a place for me here. I don't think there's any place for me in this world.
Don't think of Aunt Josephine.
It's not what the world holds for you, it is what you bring to it. And you bring so much. We'll figure it out. Alright?
Very sweet.
Miss Stacy is unbridled.
Nothing will ever be the same.
I mean, I don't mean to, downplay. It is, a really shitty situation, and they're right to be upset about it, but you can rebuild it, Although, Cole is in a tough spot moving forward, but I don't think it's beyond help at all.
There's a lot need fixing around here for a long time now.
You can take advantage of me. I don't mind.
Yeah.
The chimney's been smoking something awful.
I'll take a look if you'll put up some coffee.
They're so cute. Love her, begrudgingly being like, yes, you are, fine.
If I could take it all back, I would.
Looking into a mirror, girl.
And you and I are like sisters. Sisters.
They do have similar, coloring. Her hair is, a little reddish, right? Or, a strawberry blonde.
The suspect teaching
Is that real snow?
control over the classroom. People think what they want to, despite the truth.
So true. Some people are determined to think what they're gonna think. There's nothing you can do.
She fell?
Oh, they're a family for real, for real. That's a big or little brother, depending on the day.
Are you alright?
And Dad coming for her. Oh.
I don't know what I'm doing here anymore, Dad. I wish you were here. How am I supposed to do all this by myself?
This is probably the first time that he's really, had to face his grief, I guess. Because things were so busy right after he, moved away immediately. And then was working and,
The girls won't complain. At least I'm going into
They're a married couple.
Allow me.
Your Honor, they are married and in love.
What I want to know is how it is that someone didn't snap you up and marry you.
There's something there. Why did I get the feeling maybe it has something to do with kids?
The bog ain't nothing but hardship. Nothing but trouble.
But you here.
Like I said, trouble.
I'll get fixings for supper.
I know I said they were married and in love, but are they fucking? Are they having sex? I can't tell. It could be a yes or a no. He wants kids so bad. That's probably what it is. She can't have kids, and then he's gonna be like, But he'll probably, well, I don't know if he wants kids bad. They could always adopt, though. Look how great adoption has gone. This bitch better not leave, because I fuck with her hard. I don't know that I've ever liked a character, so immediately. There's just something. It was just very quick. Yeah.
You insult me. Well, I believe it's my turn. So without a husband, I may as well be considered an invalid. Without me, you'd never know a thing that's going on in Avonlea. All tucked away in your little coffin here at Green Gables. You sure? I have put up with your judgments and your assumptions.
And put up with him.
Your gossip and your bullying for 50 years. Bullying. Perhaps you're in a coffin of your own. A mental one. You're close-minded, Rachel. Leaving. Fine by me. I'll ask permission via letter before I visit again. If I ever visit again. But be sure to close that
It doesn't seem like they've ever had a fight. That was a lot of pent-up anger. And they both were like, they were like shaking. They like couldn't, like, Rachel. Oh, they hate confrontation like me.
Not now, Moody.
Moody could be of help.
Everything
No,
went wrong
Moody.
after I dropped the label.
He's a cutie patootie. He's a little sweetie pie. See, men can be of value sometimes. I hope people know I'm joking when I say shit like that. Kind of.
Was it that difficult for Anne?
Folks said all kinds of things against her.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of the thing that happened where, like, she was talking about sex and then she got a reputation or whatever.
I'm sorry for my actions. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Great. Good. Now you should get the hell out of here.
Some people are determined. See, I see, unless this actor is just, like, a nice boy in real life, I see wheels turning in there. I see good.
You and me should spend our lives
Me, I'm like, I can fix him.
No. If you feel about
But am I crazy? Maybe.
feel about you, then will you marry me? Marry. It's no good at all.
Will you marry me, Mary? Oh, that's definitely her relative. Or a bestie.
Sweetheart.
Or a son! Oh. Even though, I mean, she looks way too young to have a son that old, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was where they were going with it. And that's what she was afraid of. Yes, whenever this Jake starts, I can take on the world. I need to put that shit on loop.
What's our battle cry? No idea. Save Miss Stacy.
Oh, it's too good. Ruby, I just can't, like, I want to see an interview of that actress in real life, because, like, just everything she says cracks me up. It's up to the younger generation to show the older generation that they're wrong, and bring about change and progression and empathy and acceptance, I guess.
I can't breathe. We're all going to die. It'll be fine. People do it all the time. I read about it in a book. I'll go first.
Go! I'm like,
It'll be fine.
Go! Shh, Ruby. Ruby. Gonna blow our cover. Me on a train when? I just want it so bad. Nothing would make me happier. That would be my favorite mode of transportation. By far. That is so funny. Not her taking out the gloves. Cracking her knuckles like... Give me a break.
And he saw my son and ran off before I could explain. I never told Bash I had a child, let alone a grown one.
I did have that thought also that
Because she's ashamed of me.
Gilbert.
you must have
this is
had
my
him
son,
really young.
Elijah, but folks like
Yeah.
to judge.
Bash
For
will understand.
real. He would understand.
Any idea where
That's what makes it all the worse.
Moody, are you all right? Yes. Are you sure? No.
Moody! Baby boy! You had one job! I can't. I am just fully face planting.
Does that mean you can marry me?
Marry you.
Because you're my partner. My family.
For real. They're one big happy family.
It was an accident.
My whole life's an accident.
Moody!
You won't tell Mother and Father about all this, will you?
And reduce your opportunities for other enriching adventures? Never.
Love her.
At the time, I didn't know how much I didn't know.
And now?
I'm sorry. think he was narrow. I understand so much more now.
There we go. Love to see it.
I'm not going back.
Aunt Jo said I could live with her.
Oh, okay.
But I can be free here. Myself.
So is that it for Cole then? Maybe he'll be like, you know, special appearances whenever they go to Joe.
A teacher is expected to enforce rules and keep order. They must teach obedience, faith, respect for elders, and morality. These are the tenets of education.
But, I mean, it's not like she was not doing any of that, or that she couldn't do any of that in addition to the thing she was doing. Like, it's so... It's just prejudice.
If you don't mind, we're conducting a meeting.
About her.
I feel I have a right to speak on my own behalf.
Only fair.
The important question to ask yourself is, are your children learning? Slay! Slay! Why not encourage them to think for themselves? Why teach
Yeah,
them
like all of you
what's
should have
before?
done. You should have used your
Recently,
brain cells.
Somebody's dream. Not that long ago, I bet train travel felt too fast. Dangerous innovation.
Great
But can you
point.
imagine your lives without it now?
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now, come on now.
So, she's making points.
My intention
Is she
to build strong
perhaps spitting?
with bright
This looks like a cult or something. For real. If the students fight this hard to keep a teacher, y'all better keep that teacher. You know what I mean? Like, if students care this much, she's a good teacher, and you should be able to trust that.
Different isn't bad. It's just not the same.
Period. Blame.
There's always another way to look at things.
Bless Matthew. He's he is so not the type to say anything ever to anyone, let alone stand up in front of an entire group of townspeople and holler from the rooftops.
As someone who lived without change for the bulk of my life, and then had great change thrust upon me, I can attest that it is the only way to grow and learn.
No. No?
All in favor of keeping Miss Stacy.
Rachel, you better be raising your hand. Yeah, there we go. But it's so... Rachel! It's so fucking stupid, though. I'm sorry. It's like, okay. She saw the light bulb in the potato and said, I have miscalculated this. There we go, Rachel. That's another thing I do love about her. She does come around. She's not... She is very...
No letter. Just some flowers for my mental coffin.
Oh, love that. Besties. She is very resistant to the idea that she might be in the wrong in the moment, but once she takes a second to think about it, she usually comes around. This is gonna be his changing moment. He doesn't shoot the fox. Different isn't bad, it just isn't the same. And he had a light bulb, no pun intended, moment. And realize that and recognize that. And that is Angelique Cuthbert's power.
You are still under punishment for your little adventure.
It was worth it.
I agree.
Aww. Oh, I love that. See, that's the perfect parenting. Ooh. Yes. I could tap dance. Like, never have I ever. But I could. Oh! Oh. Not Gilbert and Anne sitting next to each other at a wedding.
Till death.
Not them being in the little background of the foreground of this wedding ceremony. This is their season 2 finale thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I want to be with my family.
You finna be a big brother, too.
Your turn.
I see the vision.
I'm going to be a teacher, just like Miss Stacy.
Tragical romance and all.
Remains to be seen.
Huh? I'm shaking. I liked that episode. There was a lot to like about that episode. I do have to say there are a couple things that I was like, okay. Like, just storyline and plot-wise, there's a lot of, it feels repetitive. It's like, okay, what was, like, them having Rachel take up this crusade against Miss Stacy for a couple episodes, only to, like, in the same episode be like, you know, she's the one who literally called the meeting, and then is like, raise your hand if you want to keep her. Like, it just feels stupid. It just feels a little cheap. I'm like, okay. It's a nice way to, like, wrap everything up in a bow. I wish they just wouldn't have done it in the first place, but I guess they wanted to establish Miss Stacy as an outsider going up against adversity. I don't know that Rachel needed to be a part of it, though. Just because we already know Rachel, although I think they wanted to do, like, a rift between her and Marilla and see that and see... And also kind of just explore what their relationship's based on and what it can withstand, and can they fight, can they make up, you know, what does that actually look like? Again, with the Anne and Gilbert thing, it's like the exact, I don't know, I was getting deja vu, I was like, okay, so this is the exact same thing. And I don't know, it's just like, but, like, older and wiser and better, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, we need a more grown Gilbert and Anne to have a little flirty interaction where he implies that she's gonna have a tragical romance. Whew. That shook me. That was, you know, I actually, it's the same thing that happened in the season 1 finale, girl. I was like, I could not believe some of the things they were saying to each other. I was like, especially Gilbert. I don't know, like, that man he's so reserved, but he also can be so out of pocket, but in a good way sometimes. He just, like, says shit, and it's like, which I don't know why I'm, like, conditioned to be like, keep it hush-hush, like, say how you feel. You know what I mean? Like, you should communicate. So the fact that he's, like, being open and, I guess, vulnerable by vocalizing and verbalizing feelings, or at least hinting to them, it just takes me off guard. It's just so not the norm for our society. It just isn't. Cole... I'm just trying to think from a writing perspective. Like, if I was a writer, I'm thinking in the writer's room, like, what... Like, did they want him to just have a one-season arc? I don't really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if they planned that all along, or if it just kind of happened. Maybe they wrote themselves into a corner, but it's just like, okay, well, now he gets to be off screen with Aunt Josephine, which I love, and I hope we see him again, and that's, like, a great environment for him and space for him, for sure, and a lot better than his other options at that point. But it just feels a little, like, anticlimactic, or a little just strange. It's like, okay, well... It's like, okay, you just wanted to introduce this character to be like gay rights, and then, you know, whatever, and then put him off with another gay character. Not actually, but it feels a tad strange. But, and I don't mean any of these criticisms to mean that I didn't like the episode, because I was living. I had a blast. I had a blast watching that. There's so much that I loved about it. So much that was so on point. So pitch perfect. It was just like, chef's kiss. Mary and Sebastian, love that. I'm glad, knowing that they didn't get renewed for season 4, I'm glad that they have them already married. Although I do wish the slow burn was slow burning a little bit more, which I never say. But it was like they crammed it all into an episode of, like, here's this, like, montage where we're, like, alluding to, oh, they've been spending nights together and falling in love and doing work together and, you know, playing house. They're like, playing house, girl. I'm triggered by playing house. Domestic house chores with the guy you like? Whew. That hits different. Anyway, but they're like playing house, you know, without showing us any of it. And the progression, you know what I mean? Like, they were planting the seeds of a really good slow burn. where it was like, okay, first they have an interaction where they don't really like each other, and like, oh, but then he kind of grows on her by the end, and then like it was building. It could have been a much slower burn, but it was like, oh, all of a sudden in an episode or so, now they're getting married. You know what I mean? It just felt very quick. But knowing that they didn't have a season 4, well, it depends on where their storyline goes. But I think I will like it. I am assuming they're gonna have a kid. That's just what I see. Yeah, a lot of people apologizing for the way they behaved, which we love to see. We love growth, we love accountability, we love apologies, we love introspection, we love changing behavior, and we love learning and growing, okay? Who said you can't have a good show with people doing that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, let me correct my behavior. It seems like it should be boring, but I live. I love to see it. Marilla and Rachel's fight was interesting. I feel like there was a lot there to unpack. Of course, by the end, they kind of did another wraparound where it's like, okay, they're besties again. But I wouldn't mind if they dove into some of the issues that they've had. Not even necessarily just as friends, but the things that, like, are different about each of them individually that caused that clash. Got a little bit more of Ruby. We have been desperately lacking Ruby in this season. If I had one complaint, other than the grifters, it would be not enough Ruby. Billy, I really wish they would, like... I don't know, guys. Would it not have been so just scrumdiddlyumptious if he was, like, in love with Cole, okay, and then took out his internalized homophobia on him in that way, but then saw the error of his ways and learned to be a better person inspired by Cole? Which they are doing indirectly already, right? Like, you can tell he didn't shoot the fox, which is symbolic and metaphorical for him becoming a better person and making better decisions and having more empathy. And that is Cole's effect, for sure. But I think it just would have filled in a lot of gaps in that storyline. It would have, like, explained why he was so hard on Cole. It would have, you know what I mean? Not that it's okay to do that. If you have a crush on someone, don't bully them. Don't do it. It's not, okay? And generally speaking, like, I don't like that to happen in real life, but if it's fictional, sometimes I can live. I can live for a bully turned lover storyline. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. Not in real life. But fictionally, I can eat it up, okay? And I'm very interested in him, too. Like, I don't know if it's just that actor just has a lot going on, or if it's, like, written that way, but he seems very conflicted and actually complex and confusing. And I would like to know more. And I mean, Cole, like, I was like, did they just have a little hinty hint? It kind of seemed like maybe it could be interpreted that Cole was like, girl, you're taking it out on me, like he did with Mr. Phillips at the end when he, like, left and was like, yeah, you don't have to think about anything. But, I mean, also totally not. It could have been. But yeah, I don't know, I just see a lot of potential there. I think I see a lot of missed potential, which is unfortunate. But there's so many great characters in this and so many opportunities that have been taken advantage of that I'm not, like, mad about it. But I'm not, you know, it's fine. Oh, we need more Jerry, too. What the fuck is where is Jerry? Jerry is a Cuthbert. Okay? See, my chosen family are all the chosen families in this. The Cuthberts plus Jerry, because Jerry is a Cuthbert, okay? Jerry Baynard? No, Jerry Cuthbert, okay? Jerry Cuthbert. Now Mary, Sebastian, Gilbert, and the sons, or daughters. The children. And now I guess Aunt Josephine and Cole. Like, I'm just like, absolutely. Absolutely. Each of those are a big fat period, and then whatever's gonna happen. I love the teacher. I'm so glad she's staying. She really livened up the show, gave it a, you know, kick of energy, and just made it, like, I was just like, oh, yes, I love this. I love what she's doing. I love her impact, her influence. Her and Anne are very similar in a lot of ways. In this episode, they definitely, were able to very directly recognize that in each other. I'm glad Gilbert apologized as well. It's what he needed to do. I'm, like, tempted to write not actually, but, like, I'm just, again, I'm like, Mary and Sebastian were giving so romance novel, like, I could just see the beats, you know what I mean? All the things that we missed, I'm like, I can see it, and then the misunderstanding where he walks in and sees her kissing her son, but thinks it's a man's, and runs away, like, it could have been so much more just, like, gut-wrenching and delicious. You know what I mean? Like, it could have just been like, oh, yes! It hurts so good! Me with romance, I'm just like, miscommunications, groveling, like, it's, like, terrible, but, I'm like, but I want to, like, fill in those gaps, I'm like, because they were really giving, like, romance novel, and I'm sure they still will, even in their, happily ever after portion, but there's just a lot more that I think could have been done, but again, maybe they knew that they didn't really have the time, which is totally fair. I might have to watch the next episode. I just might. So, all that being said, that was the season 2 finale of In With an E. If you like this, again, comment your favorite part of the episode, of the reaction, whatever you want, if you're so inclined. Comments, questions, concerns, like, comment, subscribe, the whole deal. Again, my Patreon will be linked in the description below if you would like to see full-length, watch-along, unedited reactions to In With an E. And I might just go ahead and watch season 3, episode 1 right now. Should I? I don't know, I might. I just might. Anyway, whether it's now or later, I will indeed see you for season 3, episode 1 of In With Me. Bye!